Seeing Julia's smug and arrogant expression, Ruth Harmon bit her lip hard, but in the end, she restrained herself. Miss, that Ganoderma is really important to me. Could you sell it to me? I'll give you 20 million, she asked, trying her best to keep her emotions in check. Got a bit of cash and think you're something, huh? Want my Ganoderma? Keep dreaming. Julia hugged the wooden box proudly, chin held high. You! Ruth was seething with anger. She had never been humiliated like this since she was a child. In the end, she threw in the towel. Dustin! I don't care anymore. You deal with it however you want. Hearing that, Dustin could only brace himself and speak up. Julia, may I ask what you need this 100-year-old Ganoderma for? What the hell does it have to do with you? Julia glared. Let me tell you, no matter what you say today, I'm not selling. This Ganoderma is so big, if you're using it for medicinal purposes, there's no way you'll use it all. Before Dustin could finish, Julia cut him off rudely. Shut up! So what if I can't use it all? I'd rather waste it or throw it away than sell it to you. Her words made Dustin frown. He hadn't expected her to be this unreasonable. Boss! Swipe the card. Julia snatched the card from Florence's hand and handed it eagerly to the fat shop owner. As the saying goes, people fight for pride, and even Buddha competes for incense. Money wasn't the issue, face was. No matter what, she had to hold her ground today. Julia, isn't 15 million a bit too much? Florence's legs were trembling. That was her entire life savings. Auntie, what's 15 million? It's nothing. Once I start making money, I'll pay you back double. Julia declared with pride. Florence's mouth twitched. Who knew when Julia would actually start making money? After the deal was sealed, Julia was in high spirits. She glanced at Ruth and Dustin with a deliberately mocking tone. You two probably haven't seen such a treasure before, have you? Well, today's your lucky day. I'll be generous and let you feast your eyes. She then opened the wooden box. Everyone leaned in and saw a Ganoderma the size of a wash basin lying inside. It was dark gray, its surface shriveled and dry, completely lifeless. A gentle pinch crumbled it like wood chips, sending a cloud of powder falling. Huh! Julia frowned. Boss, are you sure this is a 100-year-old Ganoderma? Something seems off. It looked nothing like what she had imagined. Of course. I dug this Ganoderma myself just yesterday. I guarantee it's the real deal. The fat shop owner beamed. But it looks like it's already dead and dried out. Julia said suspiciously. Boss, don't tell me you're selling fake goods just to scam money? Florence asked warily. How could I be? The fat boss gave an awkward laugh. It's definitely real. It just looks a little ugly, but that's no big deal. That's not very honest of you. Dahlia suddenly spoke up. It is a Ganoderma, but this one is clearly already dead. There's no life in it, it's no different from a piece of wood. How dare you charge so much for it? What? Wood? At those words, Florence and Julia both jumped up. No wonder something felt wrong. It was a defective product. You damn fatty! You're scamming people! Give us our money back! Florence shouted angrily. She's right! Give us a refund now! Julia was fuming too. 15 million for a useless piece of wood. Did he think she was an idiot? Ladies, in this line of business, we go by the rule of no refunds, no returns. You insisted on buying it. I never forced you. The shop owner replied coldly. Cut the crap! I don't want this Ganoderma. Refund us now! Julia grabbed his collar and raged. Oh? Trying to act tough here? The boss remained unfazed and clapped his hands. Soon, a group of burly men rushed out from the back room. Their fierce appearance instantly silenced Julia and her group. Are they out of their minds? Causing trouble in Boss Ju's shop? Must be a bunch of rookies. Don't even know the rules around here. Exactly. Who spends millions on something without checking it first? That's just plain stupid. The crowd started murmuring in disapproval. What, think I'm scared just because you brought people? Florence shouted, though her voice lacked confidence. You damn fatty, I'm warning you, refund us now or I'll report you for fraud. Go ahead, report me if you like, the shop owner said without fear. What I sold was indeed a 100-year-old Ganoderma. Anyone you ask will tell you the same. As for the price, You're the ones who kept raising it. It had nothing to do with me. Even if you sue me, you won't win. You. Florence was so angry she was grinding her teeth. But with so many people on his side, she didn't dare act rashly. Why didn't you tell us the Ganoderma was dead? Julia yelled. I gave it to you before you even paid. You didn't check it yourself. How's that my fault? The boss replied confidently. His words made Julia even angrier, but she had no way to refute him. Even though she didn't pay out of her own pocket, being scammed still felt humiliating. Ha ha! 15 million for a piece of wood. I'm dying! Ruth suddenly laughed mockingly. She had been the target of ridicule earlier, but now, it was time for payback. Mind your own business! Julia snapped. Actually, I should thank you. Ruth sneered. Luckily, you didn't sell it to me. Otherwise, I'd be the one getting ripped off. You! Julia's face turned red with rage, looking like she was about to explode. That young lady, you said earlier you wanted the Ganoderma, right? Here, we'll sell it to you. Just give us 20 million, Florence said quickly, treating Ruth like a savior as she brought the box over. You think I'm stupid? A worthless item like this, and you want 20 million? Ruth sneered. She might be rich, but she wasn't dumb. A dead Ganoderma had no medicinal value at all. If that's too much, we'll lower the price. How about 15 million? Florence pleaded. Now, she just wanted to sell it off as soon as possible before the loss got worse. No, Ruth refused flatly. 10 million! 10 million should be fair, right? We're already selling at a loss. Florence was nearly in tears. You really think this thing is worth 10 million? Ruth shot back. 5 million! Final offer, 5 million! Florence looked around desperately. Anyone? Please, kind sirs, buy it for 5 million. She wasn't hoping to break even anymore, just minimize the loss. Auntie, give it up. For junk like this, only a fool would buy it. Ruth scoffed. Just as she finished speaking, a sudden voice rang out. I'll take it. 5 million, 5 million. I'll take it. At that moment, Dustin suddenly spoke up. Everyone turned to look, their expressions turning peculiar. Anyone with half a brain could see that this century-old Ganoderma was worthless. To still want to buy it now, wasn't that just plain stupid? Dustin, have you lost your mind? 5 million for this piece of junk? Ruth was stunned. Though the money wasn't much, this behavior was utterly foolish. Why, you really want to buy it? Florence couldn't believe it. What? You don't want to sell? Dustin retorted. Sell, of course I'll sell. Florence nodded repeatedly, beaming with joy. Though 5 million was a loss, it was better than losing everything. Dustin, this Ganoderma is useless now. Are you sure you want to buy it? Dahlia interjected coldly. Stupid girl. What nonsense are you spouting? This Ganoderma is a treasure. Florence nearly jumped in fright. After finally managing to sell it, how could someone stab her in the back like this? What if the sucker changed his mind? Of course I'm buying. Dustin nodded. At the very least, I find it very useful. Exactly. This is a century-old Ganoderma, rare in the world. 5 million is a steal, no loss, no scam. Florence eagerly agreed, her attitude as warm as if she were facing the god of wealth. Hey, Dustin! 5 million isn't small change. Do you even have that kind of money? James voiced his skepticism. I don't, but she does. Dustin pointed to Ruth beside him. Me? Ruth was taken aback, then rolled her eyes. I'm not playing the fool for you. Consider it a loan, all right? This thing is really important to me, Dustin said earnestly. Fine. You're impossible. 5 million, consider it buying you a lesson. Ruth had no choice but to agree. 5 million was nothing to her. In the end, the transaction was completed. When the money landed in her hands, Julia couldn't help but laugh. Dustin! You're really something special. Knowing it's trash and still buying it, I admire your courage. Thank goodness for this idiot taking it off our hands. Otherwise, we'd be ruined today. Florence laughed in relief, looking downright gleeful. 5 million for this garbage. You're really something. James sneered and shook his head, as if looking at a fool. How do you know it's garbage? Dustin remained unbothered, even countering with a question. Are you blind? Can't you see it's withered and dead? If that's not garbage, what is? Julia scoffed. That's just what you think. To me, it's priceless. Dustin smiled faintly. Priceless? Ha! Not only are you blind, but you're also an idiot. Treating a piece of trash like a priceless treasure. How can you even say that with a straight face? Julia doubled over laughing. How foolish and unaware can you be? James smirked. Have any of you wondered why this century-old Ganoderma withered? Dustin asked with a faint smile. Huh! Everyone paused, not quite following. Why? Ruth was curious. Dustin didn't answer. Instead, he raised the Ganoderma in his hand and slammed it heavily onto the ground. Thud! With a dull thud, the Ganoderma, as large as a basin, shattered into pieces. Dustin! Are you insane? Ruth was horrified. After spending $5 million to buy it, he smashed it to pieces the next second. Was there something wrong with his brain? Even with money, you couldn't just waste it like this. He really is an idiot. Julia laughed even harder. Absolutely hopeless. James looked at him as if he were a moron. What on earth is he doing? Dahlia frowned, utterly unable to comprehend his absurd behavior. Ignoring the strange looks, Dustin crouched down and began sifting carefully through the shattered Ganoderma fragments. Soon, he pulled out a small, palm-sized Ganoderma, crimson red and exuding a strange fragrance. This Ganoderma was delicate and exquisite, blood-red in color, and clearly extraordinary. That's odd. How is there a small Ganoderma inside the big one? Ruth was baffled. Could Ganoderma reproduce or something? At that moment, the plump shop owner seemed to realize something and gasped. And no way. Could this be the legendary Blood Ganoderma? The crowd erupted in astonishment. What? Blood Ganoderma? Boss, are you serious? That's right. I've seen records of it in books. This is definitely Blood Ganoderma. My God! To think I'd live to see Blood Ganoderma. What a sight! Everyone chattered excitedly, a mix of awe, envy, and jealousy in their voices. Wait! What's Blood Ganoderma? Ruth looked around, even more confused. Blood Ganoderma is a type of Ganoderma, but far more precious and rare than ordinary ones. It's the absolute pinnacle of Ganoderma, a true rarity. The shop owner swallowed hard, his face flushed with excitement. A rarity? Then how much is it worth? Ruth pressed. Blood Ganoderma is invaluable. If auctioned, it'd fetch at least $1 billion, the shop owner declared stunningly. What? $1 billion? The crowd was floored, their faces a picture of disbelief. That was more money than they could earn in 10 lifetimes. How is that possible? This little thing is worth $1 billion? Florence's eyes nearly bulged out of her head, unable to believe it. $1 billion is a conservative estimate. At auction, it'd go even higher, the shop owner added in awe. These words struck Florence like a thunderbolt, her face turning deathly pale. This Blood Ganoderma should have been hers. And yet, she'd sold it for a measly $5 million. $5 million versus $1 billion. The gap was like an unbridgeable chasm. How could this happen? And no, it's impossible. Julia and the others were equally dumbfounded, struggling to accept it. Who could have imagined that inside the withered Ganoderma lay a priceless Blood Ganoderma? Ha! Dustin! I never expected your luck to be this good, finding a Blood Ganoderma. That $5 million was worth every penny! Once she processed it, Ruth burst into laughter. Even she had never seen a treasure worth $1 billion before. Hey you! Thanks for your generosity. Otherwise, we'd never have gotten our hands on such a treasure. Honestly, this should have been yours. Too bad you were too blind to recognize it. Now, it's ours for free. $1 billion, what a sweet deal! Ruth sighed dramatically, shaking her head. Her words were a knife to the heart. Julia and Florence turned red with fury, looking as if they'd swallowed something vile. A treasure worth $1 billion. And because of a single misjudgment, they'd handed it over for nothing. The regret was enough to make them vomit blood.
And just can't accept it. This can't be the end yet. You promised to never leave, and now you're gone. Can't believe I can feel the world slipping away. staying in my imagination, memorizing the past time, the secrets, the love, the care. Now they're echoes in the air. I still see your face and